Okay, children. In this class, we are discussing electric potential, which is an important topic in electrostatics, and it will get extensively used up in capacitors and also in current electricity. Let's understand it. Imagine our charge Q, right? We know that charge Q will have its electric field around it. Imagine I'm bringing another charge Q0. I'm transferring it from a point B, finally here to a point A. I continue to bring it closer, A. Now as B comes closer towards A, I am assuming that the charge Q0 is positively charged. So you can see the charge Q will be repelling Q0 all around, and I try to bring Q0 towards. Actually, I have to physically bring it by applying what? A force on it, because electrostatic force, you can see, will be opposing its motion. This will be electrostatic force. Now if I want to shift it toward the charge, I will have to apply another force under external force EXT. Now when I am shifting the charge towards positive charge Q plus Q, then I have to be very careful. I have to make sure that the external force is adjusted in such a manner that it is equal to the electrostatic force, meaning the net force of the charge, test charge will be how much? 0, and therefore the test charge will not be accelerated. It will not be accelerated. It will move with the uniform velocity, right? So F ext, which is the external force, is equal to the electrostatic force F. Now, as the charge was located in infinity at infinite distance, if you go by property of electrostatic force, then you know it is inversely proportional to R square. If R will take to infinity, then the force will be 0, and therefore there will be no interaction. So at infinity, when the charge starts just moving, before that, I would say that energy of the charge can be considered as what? 0. Or we can consider a reference energy here, U infinite. As I am bringing it closer, you can see that I am doing work, and you know that when work is done on the system, then energy what? Increases. Its energy will continue to increase from point A to B. Now, where the potential comes into all this? Actually, potential is the amount of work which we do in order to bring 1 coulomb charge from infinity to a given point in the electric field. Right? So if we use this definition, let's write it here. Electric potential at a point is defined as the amount of work done in order to bring unit test charge from infinity to the given point. Now it's very important, from infinity to the given point at the unit charge, meaning 1 coulomb charge. Let's understand this concept here. Why infinity? Because at infinity there is no interaction, and we will consider that the energy of the test charge which I am bringing at infinity is how much? Therefore 0. You can understand like this, that infinity is like origin, like we have coordinate axis. At origin we take coordinate to be 0, 0. Same thing here, we will consider the energy at infinity to be how much? Initially 0. So as I am bringing charge from B to A, Then work done WBA, going from B to A, is the net work which I am doing in bringing what charge? Q0. What transfer of charge of transfer? Q0. If I ask you work done in bringing unit charge, therefore work done in bringing unit charge is equal to WBA by Q naught. Right? Now, if B is located at infinity, if B tends to be infinity, then the work done from infinity to A divided by charge Q naught is called potential. So this is the potential. Work done in order to bring a unit test charge from infinity to the given point, okay, is known as potential at that point. We can write it like this also. Potential at a point V is equal to W infinity to A, W external first, from infinity to A divided by Q naught, or you can simply write V is equal to W from infinity divided by Q naught. So infinity to a point what? P, or suppose a point A. So this will be the potential at given point. Now what will be the unit of potential? Unit of potential. Potential V is equal to, we have W by Q naught. W is the work done and Q naught is the charge transfer. So its unit is joule per coulomb or volt. Joule per coulomb or volt, where 1 volt is equal to 1 joule per coulomb. So we can use this to define a potential of 1 volt. If 1 joule work is done for transferring 1 coulomb charge, then potential at that point is how much? 1 volt. Clear? So you understood that electric potential at a point is the amount of work done in order to bring unit test charge from infinity to the given point. And remember, this is external work done by the external force. Okay. Now, let us try to define the same concept in terms of potential difference. Imagine I am trying to bring a point charge from one point to another. Let's try to define potential in terms of potential difference. In short, we also call it P. I am trying to shift the charge from point, suppose R, to point P. Now I can transfer the charges so many ways. I can transfer it like this. I can transfer it like this directly. I can transfer it like this. I can choose so many paths. I can choose any path that I want. I can take a path like this. The interesting thing is that work done in order to transfer a charge from one point to another is independent of the path taken. Whether I take this path, this path, this path, and this path, I can say this is path 1, this is path 2, this is path 3, and this is path 4. When work done in all the paths are what? Equal. W1 is equal to W2 is equal to W3 is equal to W4. Why? The reason is work done is same. The reason is that electric force is conservative in nature. Conservative in nature. And if any force is conservative in nature, then it is independent of the path taken. It is not a path function. It is not path function. It is independent of the path taken to do so. So what then all the parts in what? Same. Now we come to a topic. What is the meaning of potential difference? I am transferring charge from R to B. Now work done in transferring charge from R to P will be W. We are going from R to P, W, R P. Going from R to P. Clear? Now R to P, W, R P. Let's start from initial to the final. It's a matter of convention continues. We are going from R to P. Now, what charge I am transferring? Suppose I am transferring a charge Q naught. So, work done in transferring charge Q naught is equal to W R P. R to P. Now, potential difference between points R and P is given by always final potential minus initial. Potential of A minus potential of P minus potential of R is W R P by Q. So this gives us definition of potential between 2 points. The potential difference between 2 points is defined as the amount of work done in order to transfer a point charge from one point to another. I will define it. Potential difference between 2 points is defined as the amount of work done in order to transfer a unit charge from one point to another. So Vp minus Vr is equal to WRP by Q naught. Now let's see how we can use it for defining potential again. Now, if R tends to infinity, if I put R as infinity, then at infinity, potential of R will be potential at infinity, and that will be equal to how much? 0. If in this equation I replace R with 0, then VR will be how much? If I replace R with infinity, then VR will be taken to how much? 0. If I insert its values here, then I can very easily say potential of point P is Vp minus 0 is equal to W infinity to P divided by Q naught, or Vp is equal to what? W infinity to P divided by Q naught. This is the definition which we get. So we can define potential of a point in terms of what? Potential difference also. That potential at a point P is equal to the amount of work done for transferring a unit charge from infinity to the given point. So be very clear about this, and you must know the convention also. Suppose we are going back to this result once again. We said we are going from R to B. So suppose let WRP is equal to, I say W, and electric force is conservative in nature. Work from R to P is W. Then work from P to R will be how much? Minus W. If I use this result, I can say WRP is equal to minus WPR. So this also shows one thing, that if you have any complete cyclic process, then the work done will be how much in this case? 0. If you start from here, you go here, you take any part, and then come back to the same point, then the work done will be how much? 0. Now, if I use this, then from equation 1 I can say, Vp minus Pr is equal to minus W Pr by Q naught. This is a very interesting result. Vp minus potential difference between P and R is negative of work done from P to R. Here it is R to P, here it is P to R. So make sure you remember this equation. This will be an important one to remember. Vp minus V R is equal to minus W Pr by Q naught. Okay. You can take screenshot and copy all the notes. I can pause the video, copy all the notes. These notes are important for you. Let's try to see like this. Suppose you are going from point B to point A like this. You are transferring charge Q naught. So potential of A is VA and potential of B is VB. You are going from B to A. Keep in mind what will you be writing? VA minus VB is equal to minus WAB by Q naught. Suppose you are going from 1 to 2. You can follow any path. Then what will you be writing? V2 minus V1 is minus W 2 to 1 divided by Q naught. So all this you have to remember. Now if you cross multiply this result, then I come across a very important relation. If I multiply, WAB is minus Q naught into VA minus VB, or here you can say work done is equal to minus Q naught into potential difference. If you reverse this, you can write WBA is equal to Q naught into how much? VA minus. This result will also be utilized by us. That work done is equal to charge into potential difference. We can also call it delta W is equal to Q into delta V. We will be using this concept in number of numericals. Okay. So you want to the concept of potential. Potential at a point is defined as the amount of work done in order to transfer a unit charge from infinity to the given point. So we understood the meaning of potential. We understood the definition of 1 volt. Now we see what are basic units of potential. Basic units of potential, and you know for finding basic units what you do? We find the dimension formula of the given quantity, and you very well you have done in class 11 dimension formula. So let's work on the basic units of potential. Basic units of potential. Alright, children, let's see what are basic units of potential. We know that potential is equal to W by Q naught. So if I write dimension formula for V, dimension formula for W, dimension formula for Q naught, dimension formula for W you already know, ml squared to the power minus 2, which is work, and charge is A into T. If you simplify it, the dimension formula for potential is M L square T to the power minus 3 to the power minus 1. So this is the dimension formula, and the basic units is mass is kilogram. This is meter square per second cube per ampere. So this will be the basic units. Kilogram, meter square per second cube and ampere. You should keep in mind sometime in the last of this also. So eventually what is the basic unit of potential? Now we are doing a very important derivation. Potential, let's say this, potential to point charge. One small derivation, potential due to a point charge. Suppose we have a charge Q. I want to find out potential at a point P located at distance r from it. Now, for measuring potential, as you know, I will be shifting a test charge from infinity to the given point. Suppose the test charge is here, Q naught, or anywhere I can place it here. That depends upon my convenience. And after shifting towards it, finally it is brought here, Q naught. And here we finally place it. Remember, it's coming from where? Infinity. Let's understand this. As I am bringing this charge Q naught from infinity, this is plus Q naught. Remember, this charge Q naught is being repaid by charge Q. This is force F. And now this external force is actually shifting it towards the given charge like this. And you have already been taught that we have to make sure that charge Q naught is not accelerated, it moves with uniform velocity. That means if ext will be negative of what? F. Now, suppose the charge Q naught is shifted by a distance dr. If charge Q naught is shifted by dr, what distance? Dr. So imagine F external is acting like this, and the displacement is dr. The charge is moving from here to here. The distance is how much? Dr. The work done at displacement is small displacement, only this much. Then the work done will also be small. Q naught was initially out here, now it is out here. So if charge Q naught is shifted by distance dr, then work there is dw is equal to how much? F external dot dr. Now you can see that dr and F external, they are in the same direction, but F external is what? Negative. So it is minus F dr. How much is equal to? Minus F dr. But how much is F? F is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q naught by r square. This is the value of F. If I put del of F out here, now I put the value of F in equation 1, will insert the value of F, and the work done will be dw is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q naught by r square dr minus. Now we'll integrate both sides and we'll set up the limits. So integrate both sides. Let's integrate both sides. Actually, test charge Q0 is coming from where? Infinity, and we finally placing it here. If I integrate, I will be setting up the limits. dw is equal to minus 1 by 4.70 q naught by r square dr. Let's set up the limits. Infinity to r. When charge is at infinity, w is outside. Zero cover के साथ there is no interaction. When the distance r over is outside, w. If we set up all these limits and solve, then w becomes w minus 0 q naught by 4 by epsilon 0 is a constant. We integrate 1 by r square is equal to r infinity to r. So w minus 0 is outside. W minus qp naught by 4 by epsilon naught integration of 1 by r square is minus 1 by r infinity to r. So w becomes minus qp naught by 4 by epsilon 0. First you put r is equal to r minus 1 by infinity. 1 by infinity variable is how much? 0. So we get here w is equal to q naught by 4 by epsilon naught into r. So we finally got how much work is being done. Therefore, potential is V equals to W by Q naught. If I divide by Q naught, we cancel out 1 by Q naught into 1 by 4 by epsilon naught Q naught by R. Cancel out this. So V will be equal to 1 by 4 by epsilon naught Q by R. It is very important derivation. Potential due to a point charge at distance r from it is V is equal to 1 by 4 by epsilon 0 Q by R. So you can see for a given charge 4 by epsilon 0 is constant, and you can say that V is inversely proportional to R. V will be vanishing at what? Infinity, because when R will be infinity, potential will be how much? 0. We can see if you make a comparison between E and V, and we plot a graph. Y is will contain E and V, and R will contain Y axis, the distance of point charge. Then you can see that E will be vanishing fast. E will be vanishing fast, but V will be vanishing slow. This is V, and this is V. It is important for you to know the graph. The graph which is most steep is E. The graph which is less steep is V. And you have to know that V is actually a rectangular hyperbola. It's a rectangular hyperbola. I can plot the graph like this. This is V and this is R. Actually, rectangular hyperbola comes like this. This is how V comes. This is rectangular hyperbola. So you can see that E will be dissipating faster. You can see more steep and V is what? Less steep. But both the values will vanish at infinity. So children, we did potential to a point charge. When you do numericals, make sure that potential is a scalar quantity. It is not a vector quantity. So when I am calculating potential, I am not bothered about finding direction, angles and all those things. Just the magnitude will do. Now children, we will just find out what we did just now. We said the charge Q, the relative potential at the point P at distance r from it is V is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 into Q by R. Now the next topic we are doing is electric potential due to many charges. Actually, we did potential due to one single charge. Let's see what will happen if there are many charges given and you want to find out the electric potential at a given point. Let's suppose, so the next heading will be electric potential due to multiple charges. Multiple charges. Meaning, if many point charges are there, how will you calculate electric potential at a given point? Suppose I have charge Q1, charge Q2, charge Q3 and charge Q1. These are n charges. I want to estimate electric potential at a point P. Q1 is represented as R1, Q2 R2, Q3 R3 and Q1 at what distance? R. Now children, these charges could be either positive or negative. We have taken all the charges to be positive though, but they can be positive also, they can be negative also. And I want to estimate what will be the net potential at a given point P due to a number of charges. Then the law says that potential at a point due to a number of charges is equal to algebraic sum of potential due to individual charges. Right? Meaning V will be equal to V1 plus V2 plus V3 dot dot up to Vn. This is potential due to a large number of charges. And children, if I use this formula using V equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon Q by R, then how much is V1? 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 Q1 by R1, which will be 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 Q2 by R2, which will be 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 Q3 by R3. Dot dot when it will become Vn is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 Q1 by R. If I put all these values here, the net potential is V is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 is common Q1 by R1 plus Q2 by R2 plus Q3 by R3. Lastly we have Q1 by R. If I use sigma notation on this, then I can say V equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 sigma Qi divided by Re. I will give from 1 to 2. So this is potential due to a number of point charges. Make sure you pause the video and write all these derivations, or you take a screenshot and write it down. So we saw potential due to a number of charges. Very easily we can do, children. Make sure that when you are evaluating electric potential, you don't bother about directions or angles or components. You can just get the numerical values. If charge is positive, then potential will be positive. If charge is negative, potential will be negative. So make sure you understand this. Now we will see a problem on this. Question 1. Charges plus 2q and minus 4q. Charge plus 2q and minus 4q are separated by a distance r. Remember, when the numericals they can give the value of q like 1 microcoulomb, 2 microcoulomb. So this will become, suppose this is q is equal to 1 microcoulomb, so this will be plus 2 microcoulomb, this will be minus 4 microcoulomb. So this is generalized way of doing. You can put any value of q in the numericals. Calculate number 1. Potential at midpoint of their axis. Number 2, location of point where electric field is 0. Electric field is 0. Let's solve this problem. Charges are plus 2q and minus 4q. Will be something like this. This is plus 2q and this is minus 4q. And separation between how much children? R. Very easy. Distance between two charges is always given generally. So this is going to be R. Remember that the point where potential will be 0 will be located closer to the smaller charge. But initially you will find potential at the midpoint. Potential at the midpoint. Let us assume this is point A, this is point B, and midpoint C. So this will be R by 2. This distance will also be R by 2. Okay? So at a given point, question 1, let C be the midpoint. So children, VA will be, here will be writing potential due to charge minus 4q. Now the charge minus 4q is located at which point? A. So VA will be equal to KQ by R. K is 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0. Q is how much then? Minus 4q and R will be how much? R by 2. Similarly, potential due to charge plus 2q, that is VB will be KQ by R again, and that is R meaning here you have to sign it AC. The distance how much? AC, and this distance will be writing as BC. Otherwise the confusing between this R and this R by 2. AC is R by 2 and BC is also R by 2. So this K is 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 children. Q is 2Q divided by R by 2. We got potentials. You can see potential due to charge at A is negative and potential due to charge at B is what? Positive. Therefore, net potential at the midpoint is V is equal to VA plus VB. So VA children, you can see is 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 minus 4q by R by 2 plus 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 into 2q divided by R by 2. So 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 into R by 2 into constant. So it will be minus 4q plus 2q. So minus 4q plus 2q is how much? Minus 2q. Let's simplify. So minus 2q divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 into R by 2. So cancel out this. This is also gone. So minus q by 4 pi epsilon 0 into R. So this is very easily calculated and you can easily do this part. Now next one they are saying, second part of the question. So this very easily we did. We found out the distance and then just the formula we use kq by r. Now the second part is saying where potential is how much? 0. Second part of the question where potential is 0. I'll draw this diagram and again I will redraw this. Let us say the distances are potential is 0 here at a point P. Located at distance x from charge plus 2. So if this is x and this is r, then how much is r minus x? So I'll say let distance of point from plus 2q is equal to x. So children, BP will be x and how much will be r minus x. Right? Now VA plus VB will be equal to 0. And how much VA? Potential charge is 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 is common in both. Otherwise, write in full and then take common minus 4q by x plus r minus x plus 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 2q by x is equal to 0. So what is overall common, children? Overall common is 2q by let's see here 2q by 4 pi epsilon naught to take common. So what do you get here? Minus 2 by r minus x plus 1 by x is equal to 0. Obviously we know this is not equal to 0. So this part will be put equal to how much? 0. So let's put this part is equal to 0. I'll do it here. So what do you get, children? Minus 2 by r minus x plus 1 by x is equal to 0. So you can write this as 1 by x is equal to 2 by r minus x. If you cross multiply, r minus x is equal to 2x. 3x is equal to r. So how much is x? X is r by 3. So at a distance of r by 3, net potential is how much? 0. So make sure you understand it. You will be given similar problems in the exam and you should be able to do it. You can take a screenshot and you can copy it on the notes. Now children, we will be seeing another question. Electric field, electric potential of the charged ring. Electric field due to electric potential due to a charged ring. Suppose you have charged ring here. Radius of ring is r. I want to calculate electric potential at distance small r from the center along the axis and charge q is uniformly distributed on it. Right? This is obviously a case of linear charge distribution. And you understand this, that this angle is 90 degree. I can assume the entire ring to be made up of small charge elements. Take small charge element. One charge element is here, and the charge element is here, and the charge element is here, and the charge element is here. It's like I'm breaking the whole ring into what? Small parts. If I add up all the small parts now, I'll get the whole ring. So what I'll do is, I'll consider a small part of this ring having length dl. What length can take? dl. And eventually, if I go on adding the charges in the small rings, it will generate the what? Whole ring, right? Children, if I consider very small charge element here, small part of this ring, you can imagine like this ring, I am dividing into small parts, another part, another part, another part. If I add up, I will get the whole ring. This is called charge element. So as the charge element is small here, small in length, the charge on this element will also be very small. Total charge is Q, and I'll assume the charge on this length dl is how much here? dq. So I'll say it like this: let radius is equal to r, distance along axis is equal to small r. Let charge on current on element or length dl is equal to dq. Children, the distance between this charge dq and point P will be root over r square plus small r square. Clear? Therefore, I want to understand very clearly here. I can show you like this. So this is like a ring. You might take any point here on the axis. You can see the distance of point P on the axis will be same from each element. Anywhere I take, if I look at it here, the distance will be same. So remember, charge point P is located at same distance from every charge element. So in this case, this distance r square plus capital R square plus small r square will not be variable, it will be constant. Get it in your mind. So potential due to charge element dq is dv is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 dq divided by root over r square plus r square. There is a potential into small part of the charge out here. Now, therefore, net potential will be equal to sum of dv, meaning sum of potential into smaller elements. If I add, it will generate the what? Whole ring. So I can say it will be same as summing up is integrating. So I will be integrating this 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 dq by root over r square plus small r square. Like I said, this whole thing will be what? Constant. So you can say 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught root over r square plus r square dq. And children, dq will be what? Total charge in the q. So you will place it, then I will see v is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 q r root over r square plus small r square. So this is in fact a very interesting case. Okay, this is a very interesting case. We can consider this problem like we have point charge q and I want to find potential at distance point r square plus small r square root over this will be v is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 q by root over r square plus r square. So you can see that this ring will behave as if entire charge is being placed at the center and the distance at the point P has been shifted what? Away. And how much is that? This distance is shifted out here, right? Capital R square plus small r square. Now there is one special case here that you have to know. Special case. Special case is if R is very large compared to capital R, meaning the distance R is very large and the length is very small. In that case, R square plus R square will be nearly equal to R square. If I put here this equation, this part will vanish and V will be equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 Q by R. So this will be the scenario which you need to keep in mind. So we saw potential due to charge ring. Now next we will be seeing potential due to a spherical shell. Let's say this. Potential due to spherical shell. Potential due to spherical shell. Children, remember we discussed a spherical shell has surface distribution of charges. If you remember, it has charges all distributed on the surface like this. Correct? Let's say the total charge is Q and radius is capital. Since the spherical shell is charged will have its potential, let's see the symmetry in the results that you obtain when we use Gauss theorem finding electric field to a charged spherical shell. We found that electric field anywhere inside the spherical shell was how much? 0. We take electric field here, take electric field here, I will take electric field at the center. Suppose this is A, this is B, and this is C. Then what we found? We found that EA is equal to EB is equal to EC and all were equal to 0. And if all are equal to 0, then if I take a test charge Q0, I shift from B to C, C to A, work done will be what? 0. Because there is no electric field. And if there is no electric field, let's consider these 2 points A and B. Then remember what we discussed? We said that VA minus VB is equal to WBA by Q0. We said yes. Now WBA. If electric field is equal to 0, then electric force will also be 0, and then WBA will also be equal to 0. And if WBA is also 0, then VA minus VB is equal to 0. We show that VA will be equal to VB, and similarly it will be equal to VC. That means we come to a very important conclusion that every point inside the spherical shell will be exactly at the same potential. And this potential will be equal to potential of the shell. Okay? Hence we draw this conclusion. Number 1, potential V inside will be equal to potential at the center, and this will be equal to potential on the surface. And this will be 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q by R. Very important result. Potential anywhere inside as well as at the center will be same in case of a spherical shell if it is charged. And what will be its value? 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q by R. Right? Take the first result. Number 2. As we will go outside, then the potential will what? Decrease. And potential outside at distance R will be 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q by R. Remember in this case, small r is more than capital R, it is outside. So graphically also we can show this result. This is the gravity. This is the x-axis, which is showing distance of the center. This is y-axis, which is showing the potential at distance r. The graph will come something like this. Up to here, potential is what? Same. On the surface as well as inside, potential is same. As you go outside, the potential what? Decreases and varies inversely proportional to r. Okay, children? So you have to remember, this is very important property. That potential anywhere on the surface, inside as well as the center is same as it is on the surface. And as we go outside, the potential decreasing. You can show this graph separately also. Potential at distance r, distance from the center will be like this. This is on the surface. Here r is less than small r. Here r is more than capital R. Here r is equal to r. So this is the graph on the surface. Inside, this is outside. Okay. That's it in this video.